Good morning. It is Cassie from Fade In, Fade Out LLC in Dalton, Wisconsin. It is time for a morning tarot reading straight from the shop. I'm going to get started here by getting a spirit animal card or cards to put at the top of the spread here, and then I will move into the tarot spread and read through that. And then, if needed, at the end, I will pull an Enchanted Map Oracle card to help solidify the message or bring anything else through. Let me just get a quick read on these cards here and see which one it was that I am supposed to take. All right, I picked up on two today. We'll see what those are in just a second here. Ooh, the dog. He's so cute. Divine service. How can you serve yourself better? Absolutely. And the wolf. How fitting. Both part of the canine world, the wolf and the dog. All right, we're going to move ahead now into the tarot spread itself. So, just a reminder, if you haven't watched these before, I read for myself. And as a part of my journey, I've decided that I want to share these messages as well if needed, because we all go through similar trials and tribulations, just at different times, different places, different situations, different people, all that kind of stuff. But the lessons and messages that come through can be helpful, not just for me, but for you as well. So, as a part of my journey, when I find it relevant, I share these messages as well. So we'll see. It's been a little while since I've shared one, because I've been getting some really personal ones, which is cool. But yeah, so I haven't shared any in a little while, but we'll see what happens today. Once again, only messages for the highest good are welcome in this time and space. We're going to do the panoramic photograph today, starting with my energy, the challenge, and then we will move around the central photograph with fears and weaknesses, hopes and strengths, past influences, and potential outcome. There's my energy. Ooh, the green woman. Sweet. And the crossing energy. Fears and weaknesses. Wonder if I should keep that in reverse. Hopes and strengths. Hopes and strengths. Oh boy. Those came out after. We're going to try one more time, please. That was too many. Hopes and strengths. Okay. I got the Woodward yesterday, the strengths card. Okay, past influences. And potential outcome, please. Potential outcome. That's a lot going on. Okay. So, let's get started in looking at these cards here. So, at the top of the spread here, we've got the dog and the wolf. Divine service that says, how can you serve yourself better? And then the wolf says, let go of that which does not serve your highest good. So those two definitely seem to go hand in hand, which is really interesting. Now, for my energy, central to the reading, we have the green woman. She correlates to the Empress. Very cool energy. So you can see that in front of her, she has constructed a reflective type essence in this cauldron. And so this represents the mirror of the soul, first and foremost. The cauldron also represents the vessel of creation. Okay, so the vessel of creation here has this reflective mirror of the soul in it. She has these creatures in her hands, showing that she has a relationship with these creatures, but she's not forcing them. They just naturally want to sit with her and be with her. The other thing that's going on in this card is some fire. Fire here represents the destructive and creative processes. It represents, the use of fire is what creates what's in this cauldron. So when we cook, or when we are using heat to create something, especially with cooking is a great example. So when we use heat to cook, we are thereby changing the structure and like the molecular structure, the flavor, the entire essence of the food in which we are cooking, right? We're breaking down bacteria. We're changing that, right, when we're cooking. And so the fire is what allows that change to occur. So fire represents that change agent that is required in order to really create this essence here, which is the mirror of the soul. And I know this is very philosophical, but anyways, the energy here, the fact that this is my energy, this is what represents me in the center of the reading, indicates to me that first and foremost, I need to be tapped into this type of energy. So I need to be willing to be able to be introspective, being willing to look at myself, and being willing to change and transform. And because this correlates to the high priestess, that creation is something that comes from within. The cauldron represents this vessel of creation, but really the woman's body is a vessel of creation, right? We can make a human life within us, quite literally. And so the woman version here, because the green man correlates to the emperor, right? And he's got a lot more like an external focus. This is more of an internal focus, and there's a lot of introspective energy required here, and also forming symbiotic relationships, I think, with nature. And I got this message yesterday. The green woman and the green man are very connected to their environment, right? And they know how to use the resources that they have at their disposal to create things. Kind of if you think about primitive humans and how they survived on the planet, they used whatever they had. They used the bones of the animals they killed as tools. It goes on, so on and so forth. And so tapping into the primal instincts and being more naturally connected to the environment is needed at this time as well. That was a very long explanation, but anyways, this is the central card to the reading, so it's important. And I feel that how this correlates to the dog and the wolf is that they're both saying you need to work on, you need to work on yourself and look at yourself and figure out how you can heal and be more creative and transform. So anyways, we're going to move on now. The crossing energy here. We've got the 9 of stones as the crossing energy, or the challenge to my energy. So I think it's interesting that this is coming as the challenge, because even being in this energy is a challenge, right? But this is showing how self-will and self-led will and mastery lead to abundance. This is manifestation at its highest form, and it shows how he is in a very meditative state, right? First of all, there's a lot of symbolism in all of these cards, but I want to point some things out. So first of all, this kind of looks like Stonehenge behind him. It's like a abstract representation of Stonehenge. Stonehenge is a very spiritual place, right? People visit it from all over the world. They want to see it because they want to tap into that ancient wisdom that exists there in that place. So the fact that this is behind him represents him tapping into ancient wisdom. In order to tap into ancient wisdom, he has gotten himself into a meditative state or trance. The moon is shining above him, showing the illumination of his thoughts and coming to an awareness, right? The moon is shining on him. He's at this very spiritual location. He's got his eyes closed. He's in this meditative state or trance, and he's coming to an awareness, right? And so he's got these tools in his hand. He's got a snake in one hand, and then he's got like this ring that represents an Ouroboros in the other hand. So both representing life and the cycles of life. He's almost meditating on both of these at the same time. The Ouroboros represents the cyclical changing of life, death, rebirth, right? It comes around. It's an infinite loop, right? And then the snake also represents life in a different form, in a more raw form. Snakes are always shedding their skins, right? They're always transforming themselves and becoming something new and different and rebirthing themselves. The other thing in this card is these antlers. And these antlers or horns represent that connectedness to the divine, to the ancestral wisdom, whatever it is that he is tapping into here. And because he is willing to take this time to tap into this energy, he is thereby focusing on abundance. Because he's connected, he feels full. He's finding that fullness by connecting to the outer world, right? The divine guidance system around him, the earth, the ancestral wisdom, whatever it is that he's tapping into, he is filling himself up. The moon is also filling him. The environment is filling him. He's created a perfect situation in which he can manifest from. And I think that goes hand in hand with the green woman here. And I feel that, the reflective nature of the moon and the reflective nature of this cauldron are very significant because they represent the need to be reflective and introspective. So that creating a situation in which you can go within and you can connect to your divine guidance system and connect to your higher self is very much needed at this time. And I think it's showing up as a challenge because it's difficult. It's difficult to get yourself into that position sometimes and be willing to connect and be open to these other forces at hand and at play. The other thing I want to point out with these two cards is both of these individuals are solitary. She has some creatures which would represent, I feel, spiritual guidance. But in terms of the journey itself, they are individuals. Okay. I'm having a lot coming to me today. All right, bear with me. We're getting somewhere. All right, so that's central to the reading. I want to move now into the fears and weaknesses card. This shows up, it showed up in reverse. The Ace of Bows in reverse, okay? So, I think either way the message is the same. I feel that with these cards, reversals don't necessarily help me. So the Ace of Bows represents the Ace of Wands. It is a brand new fiery opportunity. It says on the bottom of here, the spark of life. And I think that the reason that this is in the fears and weaknesses card is because you are becoming well aware of how powerful it is that you are and how powerful your actions are. And because you're aware of this, you're afraid of it because you know that if you make the wrong choices, okay, let me rephrase that because there are no wrong choices, right? There are just choices, and they may lead us in the way that we want to go, or they may lead us on a different path. And so there is this opportunity here to really hone in your energy and really focus on what you want. and making sure that all of your actions reflect that. This reflection word and philosophy is really coming through. Your focus and intent is very important at this time because this is a brand new start, and you can focus your will and intention in any direction you wish. The arrow represents thoughts, ideas, and intentions. The bow represents the force of action for those thoughts, ideas, and communication, ideas, intentions. So when you focus heavily on where it is that you want to put your energy, you are manifesting. And if you're manifesting things that aren't for your highest good, you don't really end up where it is that you wanted to go. And you know this, and I think the challenge here is to be continually aware of what it is that you truly want to focus on. And with these two cards here, the focus is on an internal. It's internal. You focus on what you want, what you need, and you manifest from that place. So this is a difficult card because you fear your power. You've seen how when you focus on things that you don't really want to focus on, it really kind of causes upheaval in your life, right? And so the reason this is in the fears and weaknesses card is because there's an awful lot of power here. There's a lot of opportunity here, and it's all in your hands. It's completely in your hands, and you're scared out of your mind because you don't want to mess this up. Okay. Wow, there's a lot coming out today. Okay, we're going to move into the past influences card. I thought this was interesting that this showed up in the past influences because I did just get this the other day. But this illumination of the soul, this is the sun energy. It says on the bottom of the card, the sun of life. The sun energy illuminates you. It enlivens you. It ignites that fire within you. And so the past influences here are this extreme fullness, this extreme passion, this fierceness within you. Your soul is on fire, right? Because this is in the past influences card, this shows that you have had this energy previously and you have utilized this energy previously. So being sparked up and enlivened, that correlates to the fire that lights up this cauldron here. That is a primal survival instinct to want to do something. When you feel it in your core, when you feel passion and you feel like your soul is on fire and you really want to go somewhere or do something, that energy is incredibly powerful. It's incredibly powerful, and it creates literal fire and sparks in your life, right? And so emanating this energy is something that has influenced you previously, and you've seen how powerful this energy is previously, which is why you are afraid of it. But now is your opportunity. Now in the hopes and strengths area, we've got two cards. We've got the Two of Bows, and we've got the Woodward. Very plain and simple. This requires focus in order to be able to move forward. His focus here is on learning how to have a symbiotic relationship with his quote-unquote inner beast. He has learned how to tame his beast, and his beast now stands by his side. Instead of being at odds with his beast, he lives in a symbiotic relationship with his beast. And then this this card here represents the point of going through a doorway, the point from which you choose which path you're going to go on. It says on here, decision. And so there are many directions in which you can go with your energy, right? But you need to become very clear on which direction it is that you want to go in. And because the strength card is here, this also represents that you want to go in a direction that best serves your growth, your inner relationship, and enlivens your passion, will, and desire within you. That's the path that you want to go on. And it requires strength to maintain that focus. It requires a lot of strength because sometimes you get distracted. Sometimes things come up that lead you in all kinds of different ways, but you need to maintain your focus and follow your true path at this time. That's really coming through. Okay, and then we've got 4 cards in the outcome position. We've got the 6 of Stones, the 5 of Vessels, the Knight of Stones, and the Page of Stones. A lot of stones. And then I think it's interesting that both of these popped out. We've got the Page of Stones and the Knight of Stones. Both pentacles, right? So these correlate to the pentacles. They're different in how they approach the material world, time, energy, and resources. The Lynx is a little bit slower. The Lynx is very cautious with his time, energy, and resources. He only acts when he feels it is absolutely necessary. And he also tends to be in hiding. Cats in general, the cat world is known for kind of being recluses, antisocial, that sort of thing. And so this, even though this is a very smart animal, also sometimes not so willing to act. And action is very important at this time, as long as you're acting according to your true purpose. So hanging on to or holding yourself back at this time, I feel is not advised. But there's going to be a desire, I don't want to say a desire, there's going to be a sort of inclination to want to hold yourself back at this time, to keep your time, energy, and resources to yourself, to not share them, to not want to go out into the world. But I feel with all of this other energy here, you're that is in some ways helpful because you're doing this inner work, but you don't want to go so far that you're not communing with other people. So then we've got the Knight of Stones, or the Knight of Pentacles, and the horse is a very free-spirited animal, but also requires a lot of trust. If it is not trusting, then it is not a very loyal animal for humans. And so this represents to me that need to establish foundations in relationships, and that need to establish a footing in which you can still feel free-spirited and not held down or locked down by yourself. You need to tend to these 2 types of energies within you and really figure out what direction you want to go in, what your intentions are, and establish a solid footing with your relationships. And all of that comes from doing this inner reflective work. This mirror of the soul will reveal to you how you can best move forward and move yourself into a more solid and stable way of being. And that shows up here with the 6 of Stones. So the 6 of Stones represents equal give and take. Now this card shows kind of a dark energy. It shows here that humans have taken too much, they have consumed too many resources, and now they are left feeling scarce. That does not have to be the case in any relationship, any situation or circumstance. You need to be sure that what you are putting in is exactly what you are getting out. If you are putting in too much, you are depleting yourself of precious time, energy, and resources. If you are taking too much, you are depleting someone or something else of precious time, energy, and resources. You need to be very aware at this time of how you handle your personal energy and how you handle your energy within relationships. Because if you have an out of balance situation like this, somebody's going to be left feeling burnt out. The final card in the outcome is the 5 of Vessels, which is the freeing the self and leaving behind of these emotions that no longer serve you. She is being lifted up and enlivened by having set these cups on the ground, which is where they become illuminated and transmuted, and she is just freely dancing. She's letting go of hurt, pain, and she's transmuting her energy, and she's dancing and becoming one with her environment, and she's allowing herself to truly feel free from her situation that she had created for herself. So let's go backwards here for a second. Clearly there's been a situation in which you haven't been able to look inward. You haven't been able to be clear about what it is that you want. A lot of your actions have led you astray. You have had a problem keeping yourself focused. You have this tendency now to kind of shy away or not be trusting of people. And you also have this tendency to sometimes find this lack of balance in relationships. So there is a freedom from all of that, and it comes from you. All right, let's read the dog and the wolf and see what they have to say. 65. Let's see here. How can you serve yourself better? Dogs bring unconditional love. They teach us how to strengthen bonds, open up, and receive love. They are deeply clairsentient beings, feeling when they are needed. They come to you to help heal certain aspects of your heart. This is their service. The dog asks you, how can you be of service to yourself and others? This could be with words of support, a helping hand, a smile, or a hug. Reach out to someone with love, and that love is sent back to you tenfold. It is important that we give and receive love to know what it feels like and to expand and open our hearts in new ways. The dog is loyal, loving, reliable, and selfless, qualities he wishes you to be more conscious of mirroring every day. Radiate unconditional love to all creatures and people we share this earth with, and our planet will ascend to a unity heart much faster. That's such a cool message. I really, really love that. All right, let's go ahead and read the wolf. 29. Let go of that which does not serve you. The wolf brings medicine for the heart. He's a vital source of core strengthening power and brings the sensitivity to discern which issues of the heart are yours and which you hold for others. Ask him to help you release from your heart that which does not serve you, and let him take those worries away. Native Americans worked with wolves as totem animals. They were their allies in venturing through the spirit realms, the gatekeepers guiding and protecting them while their soul journeyed. If you call a wolf into your meditation, he will always go ahead and make sure the path you are walking is of a high frequency, and that you have a safe passage through the realms you visit. He is a noble protector. Very awesome energy. That canine energy is coming through super strong with those two cards, because they are very loyal animals. They're very dedicated to their lives and their goals. You know, they want to love and be loved. The wolf especially is always taking care of his pack. But in order to be able to take care of his pack, he has to be sure that he is strong first and foremost. And so all of this about needing to find the strength within and being able to look inward and really identify your truest desires and follow your truest path, that's incredibly important at this time. And you don't need to be afraid of it or shy away from it. In fact, you can really set yourself free if you really identify how you can best utilize your time, energy, and resources, and making sure to always take care of this spark within you first and foremost. All right, I am going to leave it at that today, because that was an awful lot that I just threw at you. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.